Welcome to Bosco Campus Vision, YouTube channel of Kottayam Don Bosco College. I am Raniar, Assistant Professor, Postgraduate Department of English. In this video lecture, I am dealing the paper 20th Century Malayalam Literature in English Translation, which is the core paper for Semester 3 BA English students of Kerala University. In today's class, let's discuss the poem Mazhuvinte Kadha written by Balamaniamma, and here we are discussing the English translated version of the poem Mazhuvinte Kadha, and it is titled The Story of Axe and is translated by K.M. Krishnan. So let's begin. First of all, let's check the biographical details and literary contribution of the writer Nalapat Balamaniamma. So Nalapat Balamaniamma is the voice of piety and tenderness in Malayalam poetry. She was born at Punnayurkulam in Thrissur on 1909. She was a prolific writer and was known as the poetess of motherhood. Amma, Muttashi, Stri Hridayam, Sopanam, Avar Padunnu, Pranamam, Nivedyam and Mazhuvinte Kadha are her famous collections. She was the recipient of Padma Bhushan, Saraswati Samman, Sahitya Academy Award and Ezhuthachan Award. She was the mother of the renowned writer Kamala Das. Balamaniamma had published more than 20 anthologies of poems. Kooppukai, which is translated into English under the title The Folded Hands, was her first poem published in 1930. Some of her poems are rereadings of Indian epics and classics from a modern perspective. Her early poems were on the themes of maternal love. She was died on 29th September 2004. So this is the biographical details of Balamaniamma. Now let me discuss about the poem. The Story of Axe, that is Mazhuvinte Kadha, which is published in 1956, and this particular poem included in her collection titled Sopanam. This poem is based on a mythological figure, Parasurama. In this particular poem, it is an attempt to retell from a new perspective the story of Parasurama, the sixth avathar of Vishnu in Hindu mythology and the legendary founder of Kerala. Parasurama, who always carries the axe gifted to him by Lord Shiva, and here in this poem, Parasurama is the speaker. Mazhuvinte Kadha was published in 1966 as a separate book with a poetess preface. Here in this poem, Parasurama, after killing his own mother, as per his father's order, he wanders restlessly. He was in a mood of total destruction. So he decided to take revenge against Kartavirya, who stole his father's cows. By using his power of penance or using his power of tapas, and from the power of axe, he destroyed his enemies and his kingdom. Later, when his rival killed his father, he again became furious and destroys full Kshatriya race and throws his axe into ocean. It is a symbol of violence. After a long time, a new land arises where he thrown the axe. He blessed the land which he created with all prosperity. He returns to the mountain after the creation, but the creation was like a chain in his leg. Now, let's check the stanza-wise explanation of the poem. Atop Mount Mahendra, silent and serene, I sit alone, gazing into the distance. The wild lights and sounds drift past me down the valley below. Waves of the ocean skip and flash in bubbles beneath this my abode. My eyes linger on the land below, stretched out like a long green leaf under the blue sky. The dream of a sane son, the fruit of his act, will, wisdom and power. So this is the first stanza of the poem. Here, Parasurama is the speaker of the poem. At the top of mountain range Mahendra, here the mountain range Mahendra is referred in the epic, the Ramayana, and also in the Mahabharata. So here, on the top of the mountain range Mahendra, Parasurama used to practice penance. Penance means tapas. He is sitting alone, gazing into the distance. Wind, light and sound passed him. And there is a valley below the mountain and waves of ocean. Nothing seemed to affect him. And here he says, my eyes linger on the land below, stretched out like a long green leaf under the blue sky. The dream of a sane son, the fruit of his act, will, wisdom and power. So he gazed at the land below him, which is stretched like a long green leaf under the blue sky. So here the land which looked like a long green leaf, here the reference is to Kerala. So land is the dream of a sane son. So Kerala is the dream of a sane son, that is Parasurama. So this land came to be as the result of his will, wisdom and power. So let's move on to the next stanza. All decked up today in festive cheer, with the air redolent of flowers and fresh paddy, the twang of toy bows and music swelling to meet the roar of the reveling crowd. And yet no one remembers me or the axe that crushed my shoulder. And here he described the atmosphere of the new land. It is all decked up today in a festive cheer. So the land is in a festive mood. The air is filled with fresh smell of flowers and fresh paddy. And there also music is coming from the land. So there a crowd of people seem celebrating. Parasurama briefly says that Kerala, that land is created by me, but no one remembers me or about my acts. So here that is the lines, yet no one remembers me or the axe that crushed my shoulder. Next stanza. In the beginning, when mammoth creatures made merry in the sky, the earth and sea, when God came and set respects to men sinless in forests, may the smell of burning chamada and divine soulful peace envelop the air. I was born in a hermitage as the darling son of austere Jamadagni and brought up in the honest Kshatriya culture of mother and the sagely culture of father, whom I worshipped. I meditated under the trees in the ashram, from where the world looked like a shaded valley. So in the third stanza, Parasurama refers his family. And he says that it was a time when mammoths made merry in the sky, earth and sky. Gods came and blessed sinless people in forests. There the air was most purified one, and it has a smell of burning chamada. So here he says, in the beginning, when mammoth creatures made merry in the sky, the earth and the sea. So during that time, the gods came and paid respects to men sinless in forests. And what happened? Here he says that at that time, during that time, air was most purified one, and it has a smell of burning chamada. Chamada is actually a wood used by hermits or saints to burn in order to pay tribute to God. So it was such a peaceful atmosphere. Parasurama was born in a hermitage as the loving son of austere Jamadagni and Princess Renuka. So Parasurama is the son of Jamadagni and Princess Renuka. So he possesses both the culture of a saint and Kshatriya. So his father Jamadagni was a saint and his mother Renuka was Kshatriya, princess of she was a princess, and that is why he got both culture. And he worshipped his father very much. It is at the top of the mountain he meditated in the ashramam, from where the land or from where the world looked like a shaded valley. So moving on. Once in the month of Madhu, as forest cuckoo sang, mother watched with a sigh Gandharvas make merry in the river and frolic around in love. Back to ashramam with a broken heart, pining for what would never be hers. Father, just and farsighted, was quick to see the glow on the young Tabasi's body, the forbidden flush of joy on her cheeks. He knew she had sinned and sinned gravely, for a sin committed in the mind is the gravest. And here in the fourth stanza, he's telling that during the beginning of spring season, so that is why it is referred as the month of Madhu. It is spring season. And during that time, when the forest cuckoo sang, his mother watched with a sigh where the Gandharvas make merry in the river water. At that time, she may recollect her palace life with all luxury. So she came back to ashramam with a broken heart. Now, she is leading hermit life and she misses her palace life. When she remembered about her palace life, her body glowed. And at that time, Parasurama's father Jamadagni found it out, and he understood the forbidden flesh of joy in his wife. He knew she had sinned gravely. It is the sin committed in the mind is the gravest sin. So she had a thought of adultery, desire for Gandharvas. So when she saw the sight of Gandharvas are merrymaking in the river, she is thinking for adultery. She is thinking for an adulterous life. According to Kshatriya culture or according to the Kshatriya tradition, so all these are part of palace life, that is luxurious life. And for a Tabasi like Parasurama's father Jamadagni, and for his family, this is a sin. So she had a thought of adultery, desire for Gandharvas. So she had made a mistake. Let's continue. Without pause, he bade his sons slay this fallen woman for the sake of the race. My brothers recoiled, pulled back my lover. Only I, father's favorite, went ahead. My divine white axe rose, fell into the ground, mother's head. Her face still serene and graceful, her body a heap of humility, and her blood weeping, craving royal comforts. Was there a slight surprise in her large eyes? Were they the eyes of a sacrificial hound? Brothers in grief wailed aloud. Even father turned pale for a while. I stood steady, duty-bound, fixing my eyes on the tip of the swaying axe. So what happened? Jamadagni became furious and called his sons and said, "Kill this woman for the sake of our group." That is here, slay this fallen woman for the sake of the race. And Parasurama's brothers stepped back from killing their own mother. But what happened? What did Parasurama do? But as Parasurama was the favorite son of Jamadagni, he obeyed his father. What happened there? My brothers recoiled, pulled back my love, only I, father's favorite, went ahead. So he killed his mother. He lifted his axe and killed his mother. She died, and her face was still serene and graceful, body was like a heap of humility. She was punished for the craving of royal comforts. So that is what here explained by Balamaniamma. Her body a heap of humility and her blood weeping craving royal comforts. Then the name of Parashurama's mother was Renuka. She was a princess. Renuka she was gifted to Jamadagni by her father when the hermit conducted a yaga in his palace. And after the incident, Parashurama questions himself. And what was the question? Was there a slight surprise in her large eyes? He is asking to himself, did she expect that I would kill her? And another one, was she sacrificed for the wish of her husband? So, were the eyes of a sacrificial cow. So, was she sacrificed for the wish of her husband? So, these much question tormented Parashurama. Brothers in grief wailed aloud. Even father turned pale for a while. So, what happened? His brothers and father startled. They never expect this speedy action. But this didn't affect Parashurama. He stood steady, duty-bound, fixing my eyes on the tip of the swaying axe. So he stands strong on staring at the axe. So that is the poem. So my dear students, with this I am concluding for today. Please do the homework and send me through WhatsApp. Let's take the rest of the poem in the coming classes. Thank you.